The latest news out of Las Vegas has the atmosphere boiling. After a game that revealed more than anyone expected, the pressure on this team keeps growing, and certain names are suddenly being mentioned in a not-so-positive way. Geno Smith went through tense moments. Ashton Jeanty still hasn't delivered what fans expect from a top draft pick, and even Tre Tucker, who had been standing out, seems to be fighting against a turbulent backdrop. What's happening behind the scenes with the Raiders is grabbing everyone's attention, and the first revelation already shows just how messy things have gotten. Things are getting spicy in Vegas, and not in a good way. After a gut punch of a loss to the Commanders, 41-24 by the way, the calls for a shakeup inside the Raiders' locker room are hitting a new level of loud, and squarely in the crosshairs, offensive line coach and run game coordinator Pete Carroll. Now fans aren't just mad, they're fed up. The offensive line has looked like a turnstile, and Geno Smith's been the guy catching all the punches. 5 sacks in one game against Washington? That's rough. And poor rookie Ashton Jeanty, who was supposed to be the spark plug for this ground game, has barely gotten off the line of scrimmage. 3 games in, and he's only at 147 total yards and a single touchdown. That's not what you expect from your number 6 overall pick. So where's the blame going? Right to Carroll. A lot of folks are questioning whether he ever should have been handed the keys to begin with, suggesting this hire had a little too much family discount involved, being Pete Carroll's son and all. Sure, Brennan had a decent college resume, but the NFL ain't college ball, and the regression in the trenches is screaming that loud and clear. The offense, top to bottom, has been messy. Bad decisions, weird play calls, zero rhythm. Some insiders are saying it's time to give more control to guys like Chip Kelly, Joe Philbin, or Andy Dickerson. Mix it up. Bring some juice back to this team before the season slips away completely. At 1-2, Vegas isn't sunk yet. But let's not sugarcoat it, they're teetering. And if there's any shot at salvaging this year, it might start with showing Carroll the door. That's the takeaway from Christopher Knox's latest over at Bleacher Report. And honestly, it's hard to argue with. The pressure's building, and the fans want answers. Not in December, but yesterday. The next few games are going to say a lot about whether this coaching staff can adapt or if more heads are going to roll. Right now, it's looking like Carroll's seat is getting hotter by the second, and if that already sounds worrying, the second update just dropped and makes things even more intriguing. The Raiders just got flat-out embarrassed by the Commanders, and not even by their starting quarterback. Vegas got smoked by a backup QB, and the way they looked out there, you'd think it was the Commanders who were chasing a Super Bowl. For Raider Nation, this was one of those games you pretend never happened. Total meltdown. But as rough as it was, it's not all doom and gloom heading into next week's matchup against the Bears. There are still a couple of bright spots trying to shine through the mess. Tre Tucker? That guy's quietly putting together a solid case for a breakout year. And while Ashton Jeanty hasn't exploded yet, there's still belief that the rookie's going to get rolling as the season heats up. Now, if you're wondering where things fell apart this past weekend, Thomas Valentine over at PFF spelled it out clearly. It's the offensive line. Vegas is just getting manhandled in the trenches. Geno Smith, bless his patience, was running for his life, pressured on nearly 59% of his dropbacks. That's absurd. He still managed to go 9 for 15 for 99 yards under that heat, but he got sacked 5 times and faced 26 pressures. That's not football. That's survival. The O-line has been the Achilles heel for the Raiders this year. Funny enough, it's exactly why Geno struggled in Seattle last season. No protection, no time, and an offense that leaned way too hard on him to be Superman every week. The sad part? Those 2024 Seahawks started 3-0 before things unraveled. The Raiders haven't even had a chance to dream about a streak like that. What makes this whole thing even more frustrating is that Vegas came into the season with cap space to work with. They had the money, and they still do. So why not spend it now? Go get someone who can plug the holes up front. Sign a veteran. Make a trade. Anything's better than letting Geno get beat up week after week while the offense sputters. If the Raiders want to right the ship before it's too late, it starts with the offensive line. No more excuses. No more, maybe next week. It's time to fix it, or this season's going to slip away faster than you can say 3 and out. But what came next surprised everyone and brought a realization nobody was expecting. Week 3 was an absolute mess for the Raiders. No way around it. From kickoff to the final whistle, they got flatlined by the Commanders, and it wasn't just bad. It was embarrassing. The silver and black didn't just lose. They got straight up outcoached, outplayed, and out-everythinged. And this wasn't some elite squad they ran into either. Washington had their backup quarterback in. That should have been an opportunity, not a disaster. You don't usually see a Pete Carroll team look that lost on game day, but Sunday felt like the Raiders left their energy and game plan in the locker room. All three phases, offense, defense, and even special teams, fell flat on their face. That's the part that really stings. Special teams has been one of the more consistent parts of this squad for years, and even that unraveled. Carroll's now heading back to the drawing board, trying to find something, anything, to hang his hat on as this team tries to claw its way out of a 2-game skid. At 1-2, it's not panic mode yet, but you can hear the alarm warming up. Vegas hasn't shown they can bounce back from adversity. They're stuck in a slump, and until they can prove otherwise, that's going to be the story. Can the Raiders respond? They'll get a chance to do just that this week at home against the Chicago Bears. A winnable game, sure, but nothing's guaranteed with how things have been trending. On the bright side, Tre Tucker continues to give this team a little bit of hope. The third-year wideout is starting to find his rhythm with Geno Smith, and every week he's looking a bit more comfortable, a bit more dangerous. But let's not kid ourselves. Tucker alone isn't fixing this. Sports Illustrated dropped their latest power rankings, and Vegas is sitting at number 21. Not the worst spot, but definitely not where you want to be. As SI's Hondo Carpenter and Ezekiel Trezevant put it, the Raiders aren't a playoff team, but losing the way they did is unacceptable. Hard to argue with that. This team has talent, but it's time for them to show it. Week 4's got a little prove-it energy now. Carroll and company need to show the locker room and Raider Nation that they've still got fight left in them. Because if this slide keeps going, things are going to get loud in Vegas, and not in a good way. The Raiders are living through tense days, pressure from all sides, underwhelming performances, and a future now in question. Against the Bears, there's no more room for excuses. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest on the team.